East Rutherford, New Jersey is the site of this Week 8 rematch between the Washington football team and the New York Giants. I'm Cory Puffett, and that was a long 4-game stretch for Washington in front of their home crowd. They're now 1-4 at FedEx Field, but they have yet to lose on the road, and they hope to keep that going here at MetLife Stadium today. New York lost the first contest between these two teams 2 weeks ago. They came back from a 14-point deficit in the fourth quarter to tie the game before eventually losing by a touchdown. But last week, they enjoyed their first victory of the season against division rival Philadelphia and would like to build on that. It won't be an easy task with both Saquon Barkley and Blake Martinez still working their ways back from injury, but Daniel Jones and Damian Williams played well last week, and James Bradbury recorded 2 of the Giants' 3 interceptions off Carson Wentz and hopes to bait Taylor Heinicke into some mistakes today. Instead of spotlighting a player today, we look at the current NFC East division standings, with these two teams down at the bottom but trying to keep their seasons alive as we get set to close out the first half of 2021. Taylor Heinicke is ready to go, but we'll get a look at the Giants' offense first in this one. Daniel Jones threw 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in last week's 30-10 win against the Eagles, and you see his season numbers there on screen. Washington's defense dominated early. The Giants picked up 5 yards to Evan Ingram on first down. The broadcast team gives us a look at his season stats as well as his performance from last week against Philly. But they wouldn't get much more. On 3rd and 3, Jones is targeting Ingram again, but the timing is off and this is incomplete. That would send Washington out for their first snaps. Taylor Heinicke is over 2,000 passing yards through 7 games, and while he's already just 2 interceptions away from the 2020 league high, he's mostly gotten them under control over the past 2 or 3 weeks. To say Washington went run heavy early would be an understatement. This is a 7-yard carry by Antonio Gibson on first down, and we'll check out his numbers, averaging about 4.2 yards per carry on the year, and those don't even show the receiving numbers. On second down, man in motion, and there's a hole for Gibson. He'll pick up 11 yards. Already taking a short rest, the rookie Matt Vernon handles this carry and plunges forward for 6. And then this time it's Cantrell in motion, and Gibson carries the defender across the marker for another first down. A 5th carry in a row. This is Matt Vernon running, and the ball is out as he approaches the first down marker, and the former football teamer Reuben Foster has it. Vernon is upset about that one, and we'll take a second look here. And no clear shots of the fumble, but that's a big play by the Giants defense. So here comes Daniel Jones and the offense after going 3 and out. But, first we're going to get a review of that fumble. And yeah, that first angle is pretty definitive. The second one isn't as clear, but the first replay was enough for the officials to reverse the call on the field. So it's now 2nd and inches for Washington, and they're finally throwing here. Heinicke saw McClellan with some space on the defenders on the RPO, hit him for 13 yards. Looked like he got his cleats caught in the turf at the end there. New York forced a 3rd and 3, and Heinicke is late targeting Logan Thomas. He's hit, the ball floats to the turf, bringing on Dustin Hopkins to give his team a 3-0 lead here midway through the first quarter. On first down, Damian Williams takes the handoff, fighting out of tackles, but the pursuit is overwhelming, and Daron Payne's got him for a 2-yard loss on the play. New York got half of what they needed to make it 3rd and 6, but Daniel Jones may be lucky this wasn't ruled a fumble as he barely got this going forward through the hit by Montez Sweat. Here's another look, and I definitely think this could have been a fumble, but no challenge by Washington, and after the punt, 1st and 10, Heinicke hits Logan Thomas on the short curl. The tight end has 8 yards. A couple plays later, on 3rd and 2, Gibson picks up another 5 yards, and he is running well here early. Next play, Logan Thomas comes open beyond the blitzing linebacker, and Heinicke hits him for another 8-yard pickup. Then on 2nd down, more RPO action, and Antonio Brown jukes out Quan Williams to move the chains. 2 plays later, RPO again, and this time Heinicke gives to Gibson, and he's got room. Jabril Peppers says to hell with your stiff arm and pummels him out of bounds, but Gibson is already over 50 yards in the first quarter, and we take another look at that 20-yard run by the second-year pro out of Memphis. A few plays later, it's 3rd and 8, and here finally is the screen we're used to seeing. Gibson taken down hard from behind by Julian Love. Looked just short, but the officials gave him the first down. We got a replay, but you'll see it was absolutely useless in determining the accuracy of the call. Nevertheless, that set up 1st and goal. Not much room for Gibson, but he kept himself upright long enough to be tackled forward for a 2-yard gain, and that would be the final play of the first quarter. First play out of the break. We've seen Washington try this play only once or twice, and it didn't go any better this time than those previous tries. Gibson tried the juke step, but there was no room for him after the fake fullback dive. On 3rd and goal, Heineke looking to throw. Good protection. He sees McLaurin coming open in the middle of the end zone. That was a good throw, but you'll see on the replay, that's a wicked left shoulder. Reuben Foster threw it to wide receiver, and the ball came free. That brings Dustin Hopkins on again, and for all that Washington has completely outclassed New York so far, the Giants could still take the lead back by stringing together just a few good plays. First down for the Giants. Jones gives this to Williams, and like the first play of the last drive, Williams cuts and fights but has nowhere to go. On 2nd and 9, though, persistence pays off. Williams, great spin move. Defenders blow by him. That'll go for 15 yards. Could be the first of that string of good plays they need. Hoping that's the case, Jones takes the snap, looks for Evan Ingram, but Fabian Moreau is lurking. He steps in the path, picks it off. Some fancy footwork got him through a crowded area before finally being taken down inside the 35-yard line. He is excited to have given his team a chance to make this a 2-possession game now, and Antonio Gibson comes back on after adding more than 50 yards to his season total in the previous quarter. On 2nd and 10, it's not a run, but Gibson continues his involvement in the passing game, taking the screen pass and turning upfield for a cool 14. Love those juke steps to shift momentum, force defenders to tackle him forward. On the next play, Barber in motion. Vernon gets the handoff on the RPO. It's a good run by the rookie, but the left guard, Sadiq Charles, is called for a block in the back to back the offense up here. After a 3-yard run by Gibson on 1st down, this smart decision, but slightly errant throw to McLaurin on 2nd down. It's 3rd and 17. Heineke is throwing, and he just throws that up high where only McLaurin can get to it, and get to it he does. What a catch. Let's take another look here at the high throw, and number 27, Isaac Yadam, seems to think that this is two-hand touch or something. Way too easy for McLaurin. 2 plays later, they kept him out of the end zone earlier, but this time Heineke finds McLaurin with nobody close enough to lay a hit on him, and that is the wide receiver's 12th touchdown reception this year, and we're not even through 8 games just yet. Take another look at the scoring play, and Washington now leads their NFC East rival 13-0. Get a look at Danny Dimes' numbers to this point, halfway through the second quarter. To keep the ball out of his hands early on this drive, Damian Williams takes the first down carry for 5 yards. And then on 2nd down out of the shotgun, good interior blocking gives him a lane for 8. Spun around Cameron Curl, but right into Holcomb, who makes the tackle. Washington forced 39 there. Jones has Williams out of the backfield, and he's still doing what he can to bounce and spin out of tackles, but Holcomb's hit slows him enough for Fuller and Trevathan to finish the job. Washington returned to the ground game on offense. 4-yard run with Gibson. Then another 4-yard run with Gibson fighting through traffic on 2nd down. And then on 3rd and 2, we get a 2-yard run here by Gibson. The official said he was just short. This one looked pretty close, but neither of these 2 angles showed anything definitive. Coach Rivera would actually end up challenging this play. And so we'll get a couple more angles on this. And I'll just tell you now, there still wasn't anything clear and obvious, but no doubt Rivera was using this time to consider going for it if the call wasn't overturned. And you see, we don't get anything down the line. Usually, Madden gives us that angle, but not this time. In the end, it was not overturned, and Rivera did not go for it, electing to punt on 4th and inches, and Damian Williams returned to the field, starting to find some running room on the last few drives. He picked up 5 on this 1st down carry, but an athletic play by Deron Payne to swat this pass down on 2nd down, and then this inaccurate throw on 3rd down marked yet another 3-and-out for New York. Washington quickly faced 3rd and 10. There is a flag out as Heineke hits AB for a 7-yard gain. They called holding on Greg Kennedy, and instead of making it 3rd and 20, New York declined the penalty, making it 4th and 3. Maybe a mistake there. Washington's lining up, but will they go for it or just take it to the 2-minute warning? They do snap it, and Kelvin Harmon has it on the quick throw from Heineke. Few plays later, clock now under 60 seconds, and it's 3rd and 6. Heineke very lucky that pass for Logan Thomas wasn't picked up by the linebacker, and that Dustin Hopkins got to come on and bang it home from 51 yards out. Hoping to cut down Washington's lead before the half, Jones let the play develop before firing to Darius Slayton for 14 yards on 1st down. New York took a timeout, and then on the angle route, Williams fighting through contact for 7 yards. New York called their 2nd timeout. 2 plays later, facing 3rd and 3, Jones gears up and finds Damian Williams on that slot go route. We saw Carolina gash Washington for last week with their rookie receiver Chris Nobles. That one goes for 30 yards before Curl takes him down, and New York is well into field goal range now. Saving their final timeout, New York goes 5 wide. Jones targeting Slayton to the right, but Kendall Fuller is there for his 3rd interception of the season. Can't quite beat Jones. The Giants quarterback tracks him down near the 45, but that will end the Giants' scoring hopes here. Another big play by the Washington defense. Gibson had no room to run on this final play of the first half. And we'll get a look at Daniel Jones being consoled on the sideline after his 2nd interception of the game.
That's the end of the first half, with this Washington 16, Giants nothing.
We'll take a quick look at the halftime stats. The average per play similar on both sides, but elsewhere, Washington is absolutely dominating this game. The one game we'll look at now, since we won't later, is a 1 o'clock game from earlier between the Chiefs and the Cowboys in Dallas. Patrick Mahomes threw 2 interceptions, but his 3 touchdown passes were enough to overcome a solid day of running by Ezekiel Elliott in an 8-point road win. As we get set for second half action, here are some second looks at Gibson's 20-yard run from late in the first quarter and McLaurin's second quarter touchdown reception. The broadcast team continues to feel it important that we know Gibson's season numbers entering seemingly every drive. Washington ready to go, but hasn't done much this season with their opening drives of the second half. First play wouldn't change that perception much. Running room has been scarce since the first quarter ended, and Gibson only picks up 3. Matt Vernon is on for 2nd down. Christian Senior motion. Vernon's got a healthy game before being hit. And he's still on his feet. He's sprinting down the sideline with Lorenzo Carter on his tail. And Carter does just get him as he crosses the 5-yard line. A huge 65-yard gain by the rookie running back, just a few short yards of the end zone. There's another look at the end of his run. And then we'll see how he broke those tackles to come free for that long scamper. 2 plays later, 2nd and goal, Antonio Gibson gets it on the stretch, and there's nobody outside to stop him from bouncing it wide and into the end zone. He's going to play some double dutch in the end zone with his teammates. And the other scorer in the game, Terry McLaurin, joins in the fun, and we'll give Gibson's touchdown run another look. As the Giants take the field for the first time this half, now trailing 23-zip, here's a look at Daniel Jones' first half numbers. Completing less than 50% of his attempts so far, and those 2 interceptions haunting his team. On 1st down, Damian Williams somehow navigates around the line, has room to reach the marker for a 1st down. Better defense forced 3rd and 7, and here comes my fellow DeMatha alum Chase Young for his first solo sack of the regular season. Coach Judge frustrated on the sideline with the continued offensive failures, and will give that sack a second look. Washington faces 3rd and 6 on their next drive. Heineke back. Gibson still finding running lanes here on the screen pass. That's a 10-yard pickup. After a 3-yard loss on 1st down, Heineke gets this to McLaurin for 10 yards. That sets up 3rd and 3, where he went back to McLaurin, but Kawan Williams does a good job in coverage to knock it away. Back comes Damian Williams in the Giants offense, and those rushing numbers are about to go up a bit here as we'll go rapid fire through the first 5 plays of the drive. 7-yard run by Damian Williams. 6-yard run by Damian Williams. 9-yard run, Damian Williams. 5-yard run, Damian Williams. 2-yard run by Damian Williams. After a 4-yard run by Ron Allen, the Giants' 6th round draft pick out of Harvard, it's 3rd and 4. That's a great defensive play by Cole Holcomb to bring an end to the drive. But after a 3-and-out deep in their own territory, New York has another opportunity near midfield. Went back on the ground with Williams on 1st down for 7 and on 2nd down for 8. With time winding down the corner, Jones takes the snap. Sterling Shepard is all alone in the middle of the field. That's a 21-yard gain, and we will take a second look at it as the quarter comes to a close, and New York will need to pull off an even bigger 4th quarter comeback than they nearly did 2 weeks ago.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter of play with this Washington 23, Giants nothing.
New York came out of the break with a 5-yard completion to Evan Ingram out of bounds near the 10. And then good protection for Jones, but nobody's coming open in the end zone, so we'll check this down in the flat to James O'Shaughnessy, a yard short of the marker. 3rd and 1 from the 6 now. The Giants take advantage of the cover 1 as Jones finds Darius Slayton for New York's first points of the day. The replay doesn't quite show it, but the crisscrossing man coverage gave Slayton an easy opening to the end zone. Down 17, New York went for 2, and there's that same slant route by Darius Slayton. Jones finds him again to make this a 23-8 ball game. Heineke returns to the field looking to chew some clock, and we get a quick look at his somewhat pedestrian numbers, but at least he's avoided turnovers today. They'll begin this drive with a bubble screen to Antonio Brown, and he's got 9 yards. Then on 3rd and 2, that's a hard hit, but Terry McLaurin holds on to move the chains. The next play is a screen pass to Gibson. He's got room to run. And whoa, what a hit by Jabril Peppers. Gibson will be feeling that in the morning. Kawan Williams has it, and he'll take it back 26 yards before Heineke cuts off his path to the end zone. We'll take a second look here. Vernon fumbled earlier before the call was overturned. No such luck here, though, as that is clearly out before Gibson is down. So the defense has finally forced a Washington turnover and set their offense up in scoring position in a 2-possession game. On 1st down, Jones pump fakes. He's looking for a quick strike, but Montez Sweat breaks off his block from the blind side. That's a 7-yard loss on the sack. Now facing 2nd and 17, Jones. He holds this for a while again, but Sterling Shepard running left to right finds an opening in the zone near the sticks. He'll make it 3rd and 1. Giants got the first down there with Damian Williams. Washington forced a 3rd and 9 there. Jones is looking. Nothing open in the end zone, but he's throwing anyway, and Ronald Darby just froze as Demarcus Robinson finds the ball in the back of the end zone. That's from 13 yards away. A little dance in the end zone that's made this likely a 1-possession game. Yeah, Darby just froze there. Giants kick to the extra point to make it 23-15. Quickly force a 3rd and 8. Heineke is looking over the middle. And lucky this one isn't picked off, but the flag is for roughing the passer against Dexter Lawrence. 1st down, Washington. Not so lucky on the next 3rd down, though. Here, Heineke barely throws this incomplete out of the sack. The 11th overall pick out of North Carolina, Diego Vega, nearly had his 3rd sack of the season. Daniel Jones has evened up his ratio, and he's coming back to try for more. on first down, sends this out to Damian Williams. Nice spin move. He's got 7 yards. New York picked up that first down, and then facing Washington's cover 3, Jones is looking for it all with Sterling Shepard working against Ronald Darby, and that is as perfect a throw as you can make, right over his shoulder, way too far in front of Darby, and all the former Eagle can do is make the tackle inside the 3. It's a pretty good spiral, and now we know why occasionally we call him Danny Dimes unironically. Washington forced a third down, but there is Shepard again, this time on the slant. It's a 12-yard gain inside the 5 to take us to the 2-minute warning. Two plays out of the break. There's James O'Shaughnessy all alone in the end zone on the quick throw by Jones. This is now a 2-point game. A 23-point lead, all but blown. And naturally, New York is going to go for 2 here. They line up. Jones looking for Slayton again like the previous attempt, but Cole Holcomb is ready for it, and he will protect that narrow advantage. Big time play by Cole Holcomb. He's had some really good games this year. He's also had some not so great games, but here, potentially a game-saving play on the 2-point attempt. Washington ran out the clock from there and will run through the play-by-play quickly. First, a 5-yard run by Gibson and a timeout by New York. Then a 12-yard completion to McLaurin to move the sticks. New York took their second timeout. Then another 5-yard run with Gibson, and the Giants burned their final timeout. 3 more yards with Gibson on second down. And then on third and short, Gibson's 30th carry of the game puts him just over the century mark. A kneel down by Heineke sealed the deal, and Washington closes out the first half of the season at 500 and completed the season sweep of the Giants. New York came out strong in the fourth quarter, and Washington will need to work on closing out games, but the Giants, for all they've been able to force other quarterbacks into mistakes, have 0 interceptions in 2 games against Taylor Heineke, who unceremoniously leads the NFL in interceptions this season. As you get a final glance at the post-game stats, New York will travel to Dallas next Sunday for their 4th straight divisional matchup, while Washington will enjoy a midseason bye week and will prepare to open the second half in Philadelphia 2 weeks from now. Christian McCaffrey ran it back last week with his 2nd straight NFC Offensive Player of the Week award after compiling 167 scrimmage yards on 30 touches with a pair of touchdowns in the Week 7 victory in Washington. AFC honors went to Josh Allen on the strength of his 4 touchdown passes. Buffalo needed some defensive help, though, to fend off the Dolphins, and they got that from Teron Johnson, who picked off Tua Tagovailoa twice. Meanwhile, the Seahawks barely held off the Saints, and a big part of that was Bobby Wagner's defensive performance. Week 8 began in Green Bay on Thursday night, where the 49ers and Packers were locked in a defensive showdown. Fred Warner and Richard Sherman both picked off the Packers quarterback, and San Francisco held a 14-0 lead at the half. Aaron Rodgers would not be kept down for long, though. He brought his Packers back, racking up 382 passing yards, including 10 completions for 127 yards and a touchdown to Robert Tonyan, and the Packers pulled off the comeback and won 19-14. The final score in Miami was probably closer than it should have been, as the Dolphins beat the Jets 23-16. Miami had the best quarterback, the best 2 running backs, and the best 2 receivers in the game. The Dolphins also generated a brutal pass rush, sacking Sam Darnold 5 times in the win. The Jaguars are on a roll and seem to have a legit shot at going worst to first. They've improved to 6-1 after their latest victory against the Seahawks. Zach Monroe had a pedestrian game with 249 yards and no touchdowns or picks, but Jacksonville got rushing touchdowns from James Robinson, rookie Darnell Tolbert, and Raekwon Armstead. Russell Wilson played well, but his defense didn't do enough, and the Jags won 24-14. Philadelphia scored a 2-point victory over the visiting Atlanta Falcons thanks to a fourth-quarter safety recorded by Kamu Grugier-Hill. Neither team was at their best, but neither turnovers nor penalties were rampant in the contest, and it was an important bounce-back game for the Eagles after losing to the Giants in Week 7. The Vikings defense had a tough go on Sunday against the Ravens, and their offense didn't do them any favors as Kirk Cousins threw a pair of interceptions. Lamar Jackson, meanwhile, only attempted 24 passes, but 5 of them went for touchdowns, including 2 to Devin Duvernay. And J.K. Dobbins added 1 on the ground for good measure as the Ravens ran Minnesota out of Baltimore in a 42-14 blowout. Mitchell Trubisky and Kyler Murray both threw for less than 200 yards with a pair of touchdowns on Sunday in Chicago, but the Bears ran away with the game by a score of 41-14. David Montgomery and Tariq Cohen combined for 3 rushing touchdowns while Kyler Murray had a rough day at the office. He was sacked 4 times and threw 3 interceptions as Arizona's offense barely topped 250 total yards in the game. A close game in Carolina saw the Saints just edge out their NFC South rivals. The quarterbacks did what they needed to do, both completing more than 65% of their passes, but the Saints were better on the ground. Christian McCaffrey, coming off back-to-back NFC Offensive Player of the Week honors, was held under 4 yards per carry with just 50 yards on 13 carries, and though he did record a 32-yard receiving touchdown, his impact on the passing game was negligible outside of that. The NFL went to Vegas Sunday night, where a 16-0 fourth-quarter differential was not enough to bring the Colts back from their 24-0 deficit after the third quarter. Derek Carr and Colin Kaepernick both completed less than 55% of their passes, and both teams finished with similar success in the run game. Hunter Renfrow was the offensive player of the game with 9 catches for 123 yards, and on defense, Demarius Randall may well have been the difference thanks to his 31-yard interception return for a touchdown. The final game of Week 8 was a bloodbath. Tom Brady only threw for 162 yards but had 3 touchdown passes, 2 of them to O.J. Howard. Tampa's defense, meanwhile, lived in the Patriots' backfield and sacked Cam Newton 4 times. 3 of those went to Shaq Barrett alone. 31-7 was the final score in Brady's return to New England. This has been another edition of 2021 NFL Action on EA Sports Madden 21. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and a comment below. You can also let me know where I can improve, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. My name is Cory Puffett. Thank you so much for watching. Join me again next time for a rundown of Week 9 in the NFL while Washington enjoys its bye week, and then, after that, for a Week 10 rematch of Washington's Week 1 loss to the Eagles.